A very warm welcome to Dortmund, to the Westfalenhalle. Javier Cinquanta, the president of the ISU, and he's watching on the opening stages of the World Figure Skating Championships 2004 here in Dortmund. I'm Simon Reed, my pleasure to sit alongside Chris Howarth and take you through the week here on British Eurosport and what should be a fantastic occasion. We've had one pair, it's the pair's short program tonight, Marina Ajanina and Artem Knyatsev of Uzbekistan, and those are their marks. We'll be live with you right the way through the rest of the evening here for the next 2 3/4 hours. It's very much Russia against China going for the medals.
The next pair aus der Ukraine, representing the Ukraine.
Now from the Ukraine, Tatiana Volosazar and Petra Karchenko. Second to go. Their second World Championships. They were in Washington last year and finished 17th. This their short program, which counts, bear with me, those of you who are familiar with figure skating, for 33% of the marks. The pair's free is tomorrow night, which counts for the remaining on Wednesday night, 66%. But here are Volosazar and Karchenko. Side by side triple toes, but a little bit of a dodgy landing from Petrova.
Yeah, there'll be deductions there for him. He didn't make the rotation and landed on 2 feet.
Good split, double twist. Their second year together, didn't compete in the European Championships in Budapest. Nice throw, triple salto.
But that really was a beauty. Very, very high and a lovely soft landing.
Music, the tango from Cirque du Soleil. Tatiana Volosazar and Petra Karchenko from Ukraine get us underway here on British Eurosport with our coverage of the World Championships from Dortmund. Historic championships, of course, because there's every likelihood that this will be the last championships in the history of figure skating where you'll be marked out of 6. The new code of points is going to be discussed at the next ISU meeting in the summer, but it's virtually guaranteed, if you listen to any of the media here, that the code of points, the new code of points, will be introduced.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right, Simon, and I'm a fan of the new system, although I'd still like to see the anonymity be taken away so we know exactly who's giving what marks, but I think it's a much more positive approach to the judging system to have accumulative marks rather than taking away the marks for mistakes the skaters make. But that was a good performance from these two. I thought the shadow skating and the synchronization between these two, much better. They were 7th in Europeans last year, and apart from this error on the triple toe, if you watch him, he doesn't make the full rotation, landing forwards and a stumble on 2 feet, but she skated the program very well.
Galina Gukar, the coach, choreographer Irina Shoborets. So what we have at the moment is this interim marking system, which will probably be the last time, as I said before. You're probably familiar with that, especially those of you who saw the European Championships in Budapest with Chris and with Nikki Slater. There'll be 14 judges have been drawn, and of those, 9 judges will count. They don't know if they're counting, those particular judges. The spectators around the rink don't know, the trainers don't know, the skaters don't know. It's completely isolated from everybody here, and it's something that will be discussed and discussed, but you won't see any flags or any nationalities when you see the marks. They are chosen from the computer. 9 judges are chosen. They will stay through the short program and the free program on Wednesday evening.
The marks for required elements. The range of marks is between 3.8 and
there you see
4.8.
no
the marks, please, for presentation.
Countries there, just the list of marks, and we don't know, no one knows which of those 9 will count. But we do know that they are in first place, above the couple from Uzbekistan who were first to go. Now from France, Sabrina Lefrançois, Jérôme Blanchard, who did well in the European Championships, finished in 8th place. Were in the Worlds back in 2001, but have been out through illness and injury, now back in the big time. Let's see what they can do here. Stanislav Leonovich, their coach. So Lefrançois and Blanchard for France.
Side-by-side triple toes. Looked to be a double-footed landing there from Sabrina.
Rather ungainly in the split double twist. Very clean on the throw triple salcho.
Well, that is just uncanny synchronization through that combination spin. Very good indeed.
Two of them exuding confidence. Well, a really super performance from Sabrina and Jerome. It's a random draw here. Never sure which couples are going to come in which group. For example, next to go in the second group are the champions and the red-hot favourites here. Shen and Zhao Hongbo. Tatiana, Totmianina and Maxim Marinin, perhaps their biggest rivals, are last to go in a couple of hours or so. But these two, no doubt about it, should be leading the way from the first group.
Yeah, it really was a very, very good skate. Question mark on the music. Didn't work for me, that. I thought one of the highlights of the program there was the lift, where first of all he did one rotation clockwise and then stopped the rotation and a turn and a half anti-clockwise. Very, very difficult to do that, and something you don't see very often. Be interesting to see the side-by-side triple toes again. Of course, the judges have the benefit of the instant replay system. Now, let's watch closely. Watch Sabrina on the landing of this triple toe. Does that left foot touch down? Well, no, I think I'll give her that. It was very, very close, but I think that was cleanly landed.
Kind as ever. To the ladies.
Some of them. Here's a triple salto. She was a little stiff in the landing knee there, a little late getting down in the knee, which caused a lack of running edge. And here's that lift when she turns once clockwise, stops the rotation, and then back the other way. Very, very difficult. The back outside death spiral. That's a compulsory element. There's no choice here. They have to do it on a back outside edge, and very difficult for the girl to get a low position there. He's a hard taskmaster, isn't he?
Certainly is. Stanislav Leonovich. These two, the French number ones now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the marks please for Sabrina Lefrançois and Jérôme Blanchard.
Won French national championships. They should go into the lead.
Marks please for required elements. The range of marks is between 4.6 and 5.0.
6 up to 5.0.
Please for presentation.
Gwendal Pezera, alongside former ice dance world champion.
Thank you.
With Marina Anasina.
Sabrina
And for presentation, yeah, comfortably in the lead. And they're going to do well. They're not going to be obviously leading or in contention for a medal. We have got some field coming up. It really is red hot, the battle between China and Russia. But that's how it is at the moment. The French in the lead, Lefrançois and Blanchard. The Ukrainians in second place, and the couple from Uzbekistan are third. So there's confirmation of the order. Zhu and Hongbo to go first, then the Americans, then the Latvians, and finally the Canadians in this group. So we're ready to rumble early on in the evening for this kind of intensity, but they know that occasionally it works out like this. It's going to be tough for the judges if they put in a performance that we think they're capable of. So let's hear it for the world champions. World champions in 2002 and in 2003. Will it be a hat-trick for Shen and Zhao Hongbo? Oh, so easy. Throw, triple loop. Such a difficult discipline. And they landed it effortlessly. Can't believe it. Down goes Zhao on the side-by-side triple toe.
Well, that's a 0.3 deduction straight away there. They can't afford any more mistakes now.
Quite extraordinary. How many times in practice, how many times in competition have we seen him land that without any problem at all? I bet he's in shock. To be honest, Chris, it looked to me like something went out of the rest of the routine once he'd made that mistake. There wasn't the same utter brilliance that we associate with them.
No, it looked as though he was trying to reflect on what had happened all the way through the program. I think he'd have to think back a long, long way to the last time he fell like that on a triple toe loop. That is just an uncharacteristic mistake from him. And the sparkle completely went out of the performance. Such a pity, because there's so much to admire. The split double twist is the best that you're going to see, because technically the man should be on one leg when he puts the girl down, and these are the only two that really do that cleanly.
Technically is the word you said, and technical is the real thing here. The short program isn't about presentation, really. It's about the mistakes. They made one big mistake, but there weren't any others, so they won't get too badly done for it. What a start this was.
Just a mammoth throw triple loop. She spots that landing perfectly. Now let's watch this triple toe. Where did it go wrong? Looked fine on the takeoff. He's over the skate in the air, just didn't get down in the knee, and he got a bit of swing with the free leg on the way out. Now he's strong enough to maintain that bit, or should be, and look at that. He can't believe it.
Yes, that's the nearest you get to a reaction. He must be burning inside. But a real Chinese poker face for you from Bin Yao. The rest of it was good, but it wasn't magical, which is what we've been used to from these two over the last couple of years.
Yeah, he even looked off balance on the spin. The first part of that combination spin, the camel, the synchronization, not anything like we're used to seeing from those two. Now watch this. Good elevation, and he gets that, well, in fact, he was late with the foot there.
Could be a deduction.
It's possible, but that's probably as good as it gets, to be honest with you. You'll notice that everybody is on pretty much 2 feet.
Well, they haven't necessarily lost their title with this, but they're probably going to have to play catch-up. It's not necessarily so. We'll see how the Chinese, the other Chinese and the Russians to come fare. But the marks, yeah, they're not good. 5.1 up to 5.6. There's the range, the lowest obviously first. And 5.3, that's a bit harsh. Whoever that is, I wonder if that's a Russian judge. You can only guess. Up to 5.8. They lead at the moment, but they may not lead at the end of the day. And that is not what they were looking for. Now from the USA in their second World Championships.
Representing the USA, Catherine Orsha and Gareth.
Runners-up in American Nationals. to Inouye and Baldwin, who are still to come. Catherine Orsha and Garrett Lukash. And their music, Gary Moore's Still Got the Blues. Good start. Side by side, triple toes, looked all right.
But I think he just doubled out there, so there'll be deductions.
Triple fine. Good recovery.
Oh, what a pity. Down on the death spiral.
Well, when it was good, it was very good. The throw triple was excellent, but two really untidy errors. And it looks as if nerves might have got the better of them there. Catherine Orsha and Garrett Lukash from the USA.
Well, that really was a shame, because the throw was something special. That's the hardest throw that you're going to see in this competition this evening, the throw triple flip. Very, very difficult indeed, and they did it superbly. But I've got deductions of 0.5 there, 0.2 for the fall on the death spiral, and him doubling out on the attempt at the triple toe will give another 0.3.
So difficult to spot. I mean, my eyes automatically go to the girl, which is surprising that yours don't as well, but you try and get an overall picture. You're probably, I'm focusing on one, seriously, more than the other, and I guess I was focusing on her. But you spotted it immediately.
Yeah, I've got the ability to send one eye in a completely different direction. And it's not in your direction, Sam.
No, I understand that.
But let's have a look, see if I was right. Yeah, just 2 turns, he opened early. It's just a feeling, really, when you're watching it, you can feel how many turns they've done. Here's the triple flip. This was gorgeous. Just beautiful. And she spotted that landing well. There's a familiar face, Vadim Naumov, world champion in '94.
So what about deductions then? For the jump, probably 0.2 off for that.
0.3 deduction I had for the jump, and a 0.2 deduction for the death spiral. Deductions, of course, off the first set of marks only.
Yes.
And there, just lost the back outside edge on that death spiral.
And that will have an impact on the second mark as well.
Yes, because the flow and the time taken to get back into the program obviously makes a difference. Lucky for them, it happened towards the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, the marks please for Catherine Orscher and Garrett Lucas, USA. The marks for
An emotional time. They're not happy. You can understand it. You build and you build, and this year it's the 2.5 minutes here and the 4 minutes on Wednesday night that make or break their year, and it hasn't happened for them.
4.5 and 5.2. Thank you.
So 4.5 up to 5.2. They're going to slot into 4th place so far. That's a pity.
Position at the moment.
The next pair
aus Lettland
On to Latvia and Olga Boguslavska and Andrei Brovenko. This their second Worlds. They went to Washington last year, finished in 21st place there, looking if they can to move up. 13th in the Europeans in Budapest. The music performed by Bond, Allegretto. Yes, going for double toes, and it was patchy. Throw triple salto, not sure if it was double-footed.
Yeah, definitely a Dutch touchdown with the left foot, and an incredibly long weight going into that. Not a great deal of technical difficulty in that straight line step sequence.
Well, the expression really tells it all. It's the problem really of a random draw. No one's criticising the random draw, but one of the problems with it is that after performances that we've seen, something like that looks almost a junior program, and there's no getting away from it, really.
Yes, if you just forget the technical elements for a moment or two, the speed across the ice and the construction and presentation of the program was nothing like anything that we've seen so far. So a tough skate for these two, but a learning process, their second World Championships.
"19 couples only this year, surprisingly few. So they obviously will do better than last year. The question is how much better?
Well, here's that throw triple salto. There's a long weight on that left back inside edge. Good elevation. Didn't get a lot of length on it, and you can see stamping down that left foot for a little bit of extra security. So a double-footed landing there will be a 0.2 deduction on the throw. And that's the maximum that they can get deducted for a touchdown, and I'm sure they're going to get maximum deductions there. The lift was good, although slow across the ice. Technically the step was weak. Spins a little slow. It's important for the man to keep his weight right on the ball of the foot through the turns on the lifts. You see free leg a little high going into the camel spin there. Did well to retrieve it, and they got the synchronization together well. A little ungainly in the combination spin. And for me, these two just lacked a little bit of character. A bit of facial expression would have gone an awful long way. So easy to forget about that second mark. It can make a massive difference. And I think with the ability of the skaters now, the way the program's put together and the construction of the program is becoming more important. The second mark is crucial.
The range of marks is between 2.6 and 3.9.
Quite a range it is too.
The marks, please, for presentation.
Remember, only 9 of those will count.
The range
A lot
of
better
marks
for
is
presentation,
between
but still
3.6 and
quite a
4.6.
disparity.
Thank you.
So where are they going to slot?
And Latvia.
5th of the 6 that we've had so far for Boguslavska and Brovenko.
Nächstes Paar.
The next pair.
Aus
Now
Kanada.
on to the
representing
Canadians.
Canada, Annabelle Langlois.
Just an outside shot of a medal here. She's 22. He's one of the most seasoned campaigners. Patrice ARCHETTO with Annabelle Langlois, 5th in Washington last year. Beautiful throw triple salto, and you can hear a roar around the Westfalenhalle here. Oh yes, this looks class. Spot on. Absolutely identical landings on the triple toe loop. Just getting out of sync there.
They drifted apart a little bit on that combination spin, which makes it difficult to keep the synchronization, but the big elements, very good. They have a lovely soft knee bend, these two. Love the step, really using every beat of the music.
Well, it may not be the best, but for me, that was the most enjoyable routine so far by some way. So much attack, real ability, super synchronization, just great. And the Canadians, who, as usual, have made their trips in their hordes across to Europe, loving that, and they were done proud there by Langlois and ARCHETTO. Just the one mistake, it looked like the synchronization in the spin, but I don't think they'll get automatic deductions for that.
No, that was a very, very good performance. The throw was right out of the top drawer. She really got down into the knee and worked that skate on the landing. Almost came out of it faster than she went in. Beautiful. The side-by-side triples, excellent. Love the twist. Just a question mark on that side-by-side spin, but I don't really think they could have skated that much better. Jan Ullmark there, who's working with these two now, and he will be thrilled with that performance.
Ullmark, who, of course, famously took Salé and Pelletier to Olympic gold from Canada, of course, controversially so. What about this?
Well, it really was beautiful. No hesitation, back inside edge, drives the right leg through, perfect position in the air, and opens early, and look at that knee bend. Really drives the skate. Lovely to watch. And again here, textbook throw, side-by-side triple toes. Drop 3 on the way in. Beautiful. And the synchronization doesn't get much better than that. He loves it. It was just from that point they drifted apart a little bit going into the side-by-side spins, but on the whole, a great performance.
That may have more impact on the second mark, which is traditionally higher, of course, in the pair short program. Normally you'll see a higher second mark because it's the first mark that gets hit by the deductions. That should be the case here, but not by much, you'd expect. Very level first and second marks, you'd have thought.
Well, comparing these to the Chinese, you know, I'd have these technically above them and down on the second mark. Thought the step sequence was great as well. I just loved it. Nikolai Morozov and Shailene Bourne responsible for the choreography. 2 ice dancers, and that showed in the step sequence.
Yes. A lot of ice dancers around, isn't there? Aren't there? Gwendal Pesarau we've seen.
The range of marks.
We'll see Tatiana Tarasova later on.
And 5-5.
Ooh.
Marks, please.
Yeah, they're not good, those marks.
The
4-9.
range of marks is between
And for presentation,
5-6.
well, I'm surprised they're as low as they are.
Yeah, they've been dumped there.
Dumped only to second place, but it could be quite a big fall. They're some way behind the Chinese, who lead at the moment. So it's China leading, Canada second. Remember, if you've got your remarks on what you're watching and what you're hearing from Chris and myself, contact us through Eurosport.com.
Resurfacing of the ice.
So that's the situation at the moment. Shen and Zhao leading from Langlois and ARCHETTO in second place. And there we have right down to 7th. So it's China from Canada from France at the moment. So now we're going to have a chat with Oleg Vasiliev, who's with Petra Bindel.
Oleg Vasiliev, last 2 years, your pair Tatiana Totmianina and Maxim Marinin were in second place at the Worlds just after Shen Zhao. What did you change in the last year in the training that you are now in first position here in Dortmund?
First of all, we changed loan program. We did a new loan program. It's completely different style. It fit more Tatiana and Maxim. And I hope that with this program they will look much better on the ice and they will be more competitive.
Let's have a look at today. Shen Zhao skated and he failed at the triple toe. Is it now an advantage for your pair, or is the pressure now much more?
You know, ice is a very slippery surface and anybody can fall. It means basically nothing. We need to do whatever we need to do. My skaters have to skate a clean short program. It doesn't really matter what competitors will do. Is it going to be clean skating or mistakes in competition? My kids need to do the usual things, clean short program.
This morning it seemed to be that they are in a good shape. Do you think the same?
I think so, yeah. They skated very good this morning and I think they're ready to compete.
Thank you very much, Oleg Vasiliev.
Thank you.
Oleg, it really is fascinating with the flawed performance from Shen and Zhao to see how much they're going to fall. You'd imagine here they could fall to second place out of this group with Pang and Tong. If they skate clean, it's going to be difficult for the judges to give them lower marks than the world champions. We shall see. Nui and Baldwin will run them close. The other two we can be fairly sure won't.
Could become a real problem for them, because if their teammates beat them here and then Petrova and Tikhonov skate well and Totmianina and Marinin right at the end skate a clean program, they could find themselves out of a medal position going into the free, which will not be the order of the day. Of course, if they get in the top three going into the free, then it all in effect is on the free.
So we're just about ready to go here with the third of the 5 groups.
Nächstes Paar.
The next pair.
Aus der Slowakischen Republik.
So it's Slovakia, then America, then China and Estonia in this group.
Und Vladimir Futas.
Starting off from Slovakia, Milica Brozovic and Vladimir Futas, 14th in Europeans. Their music, David Arkenstone's Caravan of Light. Fine start. Quick double twist. Triple toes, looked okay to me.
But I think again he just doubled out there. Certainly was off axis. Need to see that one again.
No, just couldn't hold on to the third jump.
Good position in that back outside death spiral. through that step sequence, slow across the ice as well.
Shapiro, who's going to start at the beginning of Group 5, warming up, but that's Milica Brozovic and Vladimir Futas from Slovakia. So you're a little concerned that he doubled out on the side-by-side jump. Must again admit that I was watching the female. It's a habit I must stop. Milica Brozovic and Vladimir Futas.
Hey, why change the habits of a lifetime?
But otherwise, it was a pretty good performance.
It certainly was. I thought, in fact, she skated very, very well. He just looked a little on edge to me, as if he was holding back on everything. Looked a little uncomfortable. The technical content of the program, not as difficult as some of the ones we've seen. I thought she did really well with the triple salto right up until the landing. She had a perfect position in the air, and just a little lack of confidence on the landing, stepping out, which will give her a 0.2 deduction. Good choreography on the program. Nice, interesting choice of music, really suiting their style of skating. Now, we've got a different angle here on the triple toes. Did he double or did he triple? Here we go. And he doubled.
Well done, Eagle-eyed Howarth at the rescue again.
So that's a 0.3 deduction, so 0.5 minimum deductions I had on that program. Good position in the lift. And it's so difficult when you make a mistake like that to put it behind you. I just sensed that through the program, that he was reflecting on the mistake that he'd made. And we see that even from the very best. Here's the salto. Good position in the air. Not a lot of height. Could have done with a bit more elevation on that, would have made it easier for her, and definitely could have gone down in the right knee more on the landing, and that would have made it much, much easier to maintain control on that back outside edge.
Yes, I think the picture says a lot there, doesn't it? She's pretty happy, and he's not.
He can't let go of that triple toe, can he? Not what he came to perform this evening.
So the marks better for presentation, but most of them in the mid-4s. Remember, only 9 of those 14 will count. And they slot in at the moment in 6th place of the 8 that we've had. It's a little unlucky to be there, certainly in my book, but can't argue with that. Doubling out on the triple toe. Now then, standards should rise here. Definitely looking for a place in the top 10 are these two from the US of A. American national champions, Rena Inouye and John Baldwin Jr. 10th last year in Washington. Skating to the music, Murder at the Cotton Club.
Timing all wrong on those side-by-side triple toes, and he just doubling out. 0.3 straight off.
Yep, just held on. Throw triple loop. Split double twist. Nice, really nice. Very, very nice indeed. Rina Inouye, John Baldwin Jr. from USA, and they can well smile. Will it be good enough to get them up into medal contention? Possibly not, but they did all they could do.
Well, I don't think so. For me, they looked as though he particularly was a little tight this evening. I don't know if he was nervous when he got out there, but from the moment that he stepped onto the ice, I sensed that there was a lack of real flair and sparkle from him. He just looked a little tight, and when he went into the triple toe, just held back a little bit, only made 2 turns on that. And with that choice of music, you've got to sell it. You've got no choice. When the music's going hell for leather like that, you've really got to give it everything. And I thought she did. She skated really well. But he, for me, just lacked that little bit of sparkle.
Jill Watson there. Got bronze medal with Peter Oppegaard in the Calgary Olympics back in 1988. She's looking after these two.
Thought it was a great start. Love the position. Good eye contact with the judges there. Now let's take a look at these toes again. I just thought he didn't really get down into the knee and really go through on this. In fact, the toe slipped away, and you have to get into the ice, and he didn't do that at all. Now she worked hard here. Good position on the throw, and goodness me, she could have easily put a hand or a free foot down on that landing, but had the guts and the wherewithal to really push through it. The step sequence was good, but again lacked that sparkle. And maybe again he's reflecting on the mistake at the beginning of the program, which just took that little bit of life out of the program. Good lift, kept the speed through this, and an excellent dismount. Literally chucked her out of the lift at the end. She's got charisma to burn. Entry into the back outside death spiral. Really, really low position at the end of it.
It's an unusual mistake for him to make. He was a very fine single skater, won junior bronze at the World Championships in 1990.
30 years old now, though.
You going to get ageist on me? Don't start.
Well, you've got slower, haven't you?
It's catching. 4.6 up to 5.1 for the elements. And for presentation, yes, up to 5.6. They're happy with those. Now, where will the placing be? 3rd place, and quite rightly so, behind the Canadians.
The next pair aus China representing
Now, this could be the defining moment of the evening. from China. 4th last year in Washington. Skating to Illumination. Here are Pang Jing and Tong Jian. Who's still to come from Israel, watching these two. Beautiful. Side-by-side triple toes. Gorgeous. And now they can sell the program, and what a program it is to sell. Looked dicey as they went into that side-by-side spin, and it will cost them. Immense height on the split twist. Super. Really enjoyed it, but major problems. I couldn't work out why it happened, but it looked like it was going to happen before it happened, and then it seemed to go on forever. The synchronization completely lacking in the side-by-side spin.
Yes, once you lose that synchronization, it's almost impossible to get it back. It's very, very difficult. And one of the things that really amazes me with these two, they're both great skaters in their own right. Yet on the back spin, in the combination spin, she's spinning on completely the wrong edge. So even if the synchronization was right, they're both doing different spins. So, you know, that for me is a basic error.
Now that might be a deduction.
It's difficult. It's not really a deduction as such. There's nothing in the deduction sheet that the judges can pull on that, but obviously the tariff's not going to be very high.
No. Such a shame, because the rest of it was excellent, wasn't it? The skating to the music was wonderful. The whole feel of it was of something really quite wondrous.
Well, they're really working on the presentation. Here's the side-by-side triple toes. You can see she was a little tight in the knee bend there, late getting down in the knee, so didn't have a good running edge, but made it work, and if he's clapping, it must have been good. But this was just sensational. Well, they can do a throw quadruple, and you can see why. The rotation is so slow there, and she has to open virtually at the top of the jump.
Yes. Throw triple loop, and look at this. Well, even in real time, it seemed to go on forever.
It is incredible. She can change the light bulbs while she's up there. The line's beautiful. The presentation's getting better every season, and that's exactly what we saw from Jian and Zhao. They came out with the technical staff, and their presentation just got better year by year.
Ladies and gentlemen, the marks please for King Pang and Jian, China.
Now then, this is going to be fascinating. Go on then, where would you put them?
I think I'd have them in second place.
Yes, I think that's where they will be. And it looks like it from the element. There's a good marks, though.
They are very good marks.
They are good marks for the elements. Better than the first Chinese couple.
I think they'll go down on the second set.
Hate to agree with you. I think it's exactly what's going to happen, but they are high, considerably higher than the champions.
Well, one thing's for sure, it's going to be a China 1-2.
So far. Still, plenty can happen. Now, they're going to give us a second mark or not? Is there a technical fault here? Shen and Zhao lead for China, but for how long?
Yes, this judging's all got so technical. If they do have a technical fault, you can't do anything about it. Well, anxious moments because they want to know where they stand. And anxious for Jian and Zhao as well, because if these two are in first place now and the Russians skate well, it's a big, big problem for the defending champions.
The marks, please, for presentation.
And the marks for presentation. Wow, 5.9.
Very good.
5.2 up to 5.9. Now, is that going to be good enough?
I'm sure it will be.
It looks like it might be, yes. 8 out of 9 have them in first place. Pang and Tong lead. I think it's right too. They lead. And how difficult it is going to be to skate after those two. Diana Rennick, just 18 years of age. She'll be 19 on Thursday. And Alexei Sachs, 21 years old, from Estonia. Their second worlds, 19th they were last year in Washington. Their music, Blue Night Shadow.
She just doubled out on the Salco there.
Jerome Blanchard watching on. And the first group skating for France. Not particularly happy. Rennick and Sachs won't be after that. They got the synchronization back in the end, but a little late. Well, you have to put it into context. Although they're in the same competition as some of the skaters we've seen before, particularly the couple who preceded them, Pang and Tong, they're not vying for the same place or mark. Diana Rennick and Alexei Sachs for Estonia, 19th last year. Well, they'll do at least that well this year, but how much better remains to be seen.
Yes, that was a very tough skate for them, and to put it into perspective, each of the teams come here with their own game plan and their own goals, and theirs would have been to do a little better than that. Just seemed to buckle out of the attempt at a throw triple salco. And Tong in the mix zone backstage, a quick shot of them. And all of the elements that these two performed were much, much slower than most of the couples that we've seen so far this evening. She did her best to sell the program. Here's that side-by-side combination spin. He's a little fast with the rotation on that back sit. Working to get it back into...
They're the leaders, Pang and Tong, talking to Chinese television right at this moment. And they must be really excited.
I think they're a pretty level-headed team, and they know that they've got to sit and wait. Two strong groups to go, and anything can happen, and in this sport it usually does.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mark
Just a half or so for those two.
representing Estonia. The mark for required elements.
Ardo and Julio Rennick trained these two in Tallinn in Estonia. Wow. Well, the judges have done what they had to do. 2.9, one of the marks for the elements for presentation. Very much of one accord, 3.6 to 4.0. And they'll slot in 10th place. One judge had them
6 Minuten Einlaufzeit
right at the bottom.
4 mit den Paaren der Startnummern 12 bis 15.
So 2 groups to go, 8 more skaters, or 8 more couples. And that's how it is at the moment. It is Julie, China 1 and 2, but not in the order we thought they would be at the start. Pang and Tong lead. The double world champions Shen and Zhao in 2nd place, and the Canadians LANGLOIS and ARCHETTO 3rd. We're not complaining with that 3rd position at the moment. We just suspect it may change fairly dramatically. And lower down the order, Marinin and Totmianina from Uzbekistan holding them up, and I suspect they will be right at the end. She and Alexei first to go. It'll be the 2 Russians first,
The next pair,
then the Germans,
representing
and
Russia,
then the Chinese.
Petrova and Alexei Tikhonov.
First to go then, world champions 4 years ago, Petrova, Alexei Tikhonov. They could take first place, but they need to be absolutely clean. Taking their time, and why not? Can they resurrect their career right here? Silver medalists in Budapest. Can they go one better at Worlds? Suspense is killing me. They will start eventually. And what a start. Side by side, triple toes. Beautifully landed. Throw triple loop.
Just a little travel on the back sit there from Alexei. How about that? Wow! I don't think the Chinese were counting their chickens, and that's just as well. What a performance there from Petrova and Tikhonov. I'm saying earlier on that I didn't rate their chances of gold. I might be having to adjust my thoughts.
Well, they couldn't have done any more. I just had a question mark over the spins. The side-by-side spin, he travelled on the back sit, and I thought the combination spin just lost a little bit of momentum. But apart from that, it was a flawless performance. She worked hard on the throws, the side-by-side jumps were good, they sold it well, it was polished. Difficult one to call.
Yes. Do the judges think that they're past their best? There may be a theory around. It'd be interesting to see how they go down with that routine. Often the judges are very unwilling to reverse the trend that happens over a period of years, and there's no doubt the trend for these two has not been upwards.
I think the unfortunate thing for these two is it doesn't matter how technically good they are, it's the aesthetics of everything that they do that isn't quite as good as the other top couples. They have to skate clean and hope for mistakes from everybody else. Now those triple toes, you can't fault them. There's no deductions there, but perhaps not as soft as the Chinese. Here's the throw triple loop, good elevation.
They may get hurt in the second mark.
Very likely. The first mark will be good because I saw no deductions. Just a little lack of momentum in this. On the change of foot, it took them a while to get going again and just looked a little ungainly. But they do it time after time, don't they? They come out and just rock the boat.
Ludmila Velikova, their coach.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mark
a routine
for
which
Marinin,
rewards
Petrova,
their
and
hour upon hour
Alexei,
training
Russia.
in
The
St.
marks
Petersburg.
for required elements.
Now,
The range of
Let's see it.
between 5.5
It's
and
good.
5.9.
It's very good. Those, I think, are the best technical marks we've had. The elements marks. Look at that. If you take that bottom line, that looks mighty impressive. The key thing is how many will drop out. They're going to be first.
Thank you.
I'm really pleased.
And Alexei, Tikhonov, Russia are in first
5
place
out
at
of
the
9
moment.
had them numero uno. Good stuff. Well done, the judges.
Nächstes Paar.
The next pair.
And here are the third Russian pair. So it's Russia 1,
Julia
China 2, China 3 at the moment.
Slávnov.
Here the couple who finished in 4th place in Budapest. Chris was saying how outstanding they were there. Their first worlds together. She's just 19 years of age, he's 2 years older. Skating to a Spanish theme. Julia Obertas and Sergei Slavnov. Great start. Side by side triple toes. They look supremely confident.
I just love this presentation. And I love that throw triple flip. Shen just lost the synchronization coming out of the combination spin.
Well, this is developing into some competition. At the moment, it's the Russians who are showing the rest the way. Just 3 or 4 minutes after Petrova and Tikhonov have taken the lead, there's a performance that could put another Russian pair very near the podium. Julia Obertas, Sergei Slavnov. I loved it too.
It is fantastic. The style is just beautiful. Shades of Elena Bereshnaya there. And you can read what Tamara Moscovina is doing here. She's put this team together. That's just 12 months' work. Probably not even that. And incredible, uncanny that these two can look so good after such a short period of time. Things were a little slower, perhaps a little easier, but that's important. She wouldn't be able to get the polish if it was all too difficult. But she's thinking 2 years ahead.
Yes. 2 years ahead, of course, to the Olympics in Turin, where Yulia here will be 21, Sergei 23. She was skating for Ukraine until last year. Did reasonably well. Finished in 8th place in the Worlds last year with Alexei Sokolov. Before that, she skated with Dmitry Palamachuk for the Ukraine. But suddenly this year, there are the grand pair of pair skating. Moskvin and Moskvina. Yes, in under a year, remarkable development.
It is incredible. She's had a good grounding and she's born to be a pair skater. Very, very strong back.
It looks to me like they are future world champions. It may not be this year, but don't rule it out. And you can see that the coaches are giving them every reason to be optimistic, which is great.
It's such a relief when you sit there, you've gone out, you know you've given it your best shot, and you can't change what the judges do to you. So they've done their job, and those marks not too bad.
The marks please for presentation.
5-0 to 5-7.
Between 4-9 and 5-6. Thank you.
4-9 to 5-6, a little bit disappointing. So they're fourth place. I'd have had them third, but there you go. Now to the German pair here.
Deutschland representing Germany, Eva Maria Fitze and Rico
Petrova and Tikhonov being interviewed by Petra. Will be giving you that interview, recording it for you and playing it out during the ice resurface. Here are the Germans. Dortmund holds its breath. Eva Maria Fitze and Rico Rex. Yes, good start, side-by-side triple toes. Just held on, thought she was off axis, thought it was going to be a disaster.
Well, how she landed that, I'll never know. No elevation, a big lean, but goodness me, she's got character.
Throw triple salto it was, and now they can really let it go here. Terrific start. Can't take that smile off her face. Well, we've seen some very fine performances tonight. Unfortunately for Shapiro and Akolzin, that wasn't one of them.
Julia Shapiro and Vadim Akolzin.
Shapiro, former bronze medalist at World Juniors with Alexei Sokolov, and she competed for Russia, but wasn't really going anywhere in the senior stakes, so now skates for Israel. She's originally from St. Petersburg, basically the center of world pairs figure skating.
Well, the attempt at the throw triple salto really was never on. They had a horrific lean at the beginning of that, and it just seemed to get worse as the throw went on. So no recovery for them possible at all there. So straight away that will give them a 0.3 deduction. And here the split twist at the beginning, and he only just caught her. Was almost an assist back down on the ice, wasn't it? Didn't really catch her and then place her back down.
Sergei Shalko, man who trains them.
Here's a look at that Salko. And a lean right from the word go, right from the off. Only just made the 3 turns. Her hips were back, and almost looked as though she was resigned to the fact that she was going to fall on that one. Spins were okay. Presentation of the program lacked a little bit of sparkle for me, and of course the speed across the ice again, nothing like most of the pairs that we've seen this evening. It's been quite a high standard. Good to see so many, probably the top 10 pairs so far with no mistakes in the program. Except for the Chinese, of course.
Yes. One giant step, and it didn't work for Zhao Hongbo. Right then.
The range of marks 15, 3.040.
Well, judges not mad about that. 3-0 to 4-0. Yes, better for presentation, but the damage particularly done with that first mark. 16th to go. Where are they going to be? 3 below. I think that's about right. We've had an email from Anne about Ingo Steuer, who believes that he might carry on coaching even though he's moved to Chemnitz. And Chris says he's going to check that one out.
Yes, I'll tap into all my resources, and we'll let you know on that one.
So don't hold your breath. You might get it in a couple of years. No, seriously. We hope to get it back in a day or so. Now for Canada, Valerie Marcoux, Craig Buntin. Their first Worlds together. 3rd in the 4 continents competition. Music, Caravan. Goes. There's a bold attempt at that triple toe, but nowhere near holding it. Oh, yes. Triple loop. Very well landed, particularly well landed after the mistake on the side-by-side jump. Well, I really admire their attitude, because it was a crushing fall on the toe loop, but she got up and skated the rest of the, what, 2 minutes worth, as if it hadn't happened. Sold it well, loved the throw jump. I was impressed.
Yeah, me too. I think for any young budding skaters watching this, you can learn an awful lot from that routine. It's so important to put the mistakes behind you, just keep focusing on what you have ahead in the program, and she did that so well. The throw was very, very good indeed. Really had the weight over the skate. She kept the smile and the character going through the program. They skated hard, they kept pushing, didn't hold back at all. A lot to admire there from these two. Love the choice of music and the presentation of the program. Thought it really suited their style of skating. Really good start. Here's that triple toe at the beginning. She just rushed it a little bit. Rushed getting over that left toe. Gave her a bit of a lean, didn't get the weight over the right foot at the end of it. And that's what Richard thought of it. Didn't like that at all. And he knows how crucial that mistake will be. 0.3 straight away lost off of the first set of marks. Beautiful lift, good speed across the ice. Very, very difficult dismount.
Well, these two beat Langlois and ARCHETTO in Canadian Nationals. And you can see that they've got the ability. They just obviously had a flawed performance here, which the Canadians didn't.
Yeah, the Canadians skated very, very well, the other team, didn't they?
They did. They had the misfortune to skate so early on. I think that's their main problem. They were 6th to go. These two 17th. At the moment, Langlois and ARCHETTO in 6th place.
If you remember, we thought that the judges had dumped them a little bit, but it's about right, isn't it?
No, to be fair, it is. Will it still be after this? I still thought theirs was a better performance. I think they're going to be safe in 6th place there. Look at the disparity, though, from 4.0 up to 5.1 and 4.5 up to 5.6. Good marks for presentation. So wherever it is, it might have been a whole lot better but for that fall, and it's going to be 8th place, just in front of the Germans, Witzer and Rex. Now, a big moment for the Poles here, and there are quite a few. And remember the roar they got in Helsinki when they won the bronze medal in the Worlds in '99. The first Polish pair ever to get a medal at Worlds. Since then, it's not been the same. The married couple from Poland, Dorota Zagorska, Mariusz SIUDEK. Start through triple loop. And spot on with the side-by-side triple toes.
Such a difficult entry into that lift. Throws her around like she weighs nothing.
Well, very much the senior stars of pair skating, these two. Dorota 29, whisper it quietly. Marius 31, but they've lost nothing. That was as good as I've seen for them in a short program. 7th in the worlds last year. That's going to put them surely into the top 7. And when you think the standard goes up year by year, and we've seen it here, very few mistakes, except perhaps from the couple we least expected it from. But these two, no mistakes.
Yeah, it was a very good skate from them. They've made big changes over the last season. Now living in Canada and training with that guy there, Richard Gauthier, who taught Sully and Pelletier right up till their triumphant Olympic winning year. And he really knows how to get the best out of people under pressure.
Well, they moved to join Richard in spring of last year, and it looks like he's given them an extra edge to their performance.
One of the things that really lets them down is their bad lines through the elements. It doesn't matter what they do, like his free leg there through the 3-turn, it just detracts, and when everybody is landing the elements, those things are crucial. And all they can do is go out, skate clean, and just bank on mistakes from others, so they can build on the areas where skaters have made mistakes. This was difficult.
But they've reversed the downward trend, haven't they, in the last few years? Remember, they hadn't got a medal at Europeans, for example, since 2000. Suddenly they came back in Budapest, got 3rd. Don't think they're going to get a medal here, but it's been a performance of the highest caliber from Dorota and Marius.
Yes, what we're seeing again from these two is the ability to come out and put down a program to the best of their ability. That's as good as they can skate, and you can't ask any more than that. And that's why they're smiling. They know they've done the business tonight, and well done to them for that.
Well, after all they've achieved, to make the commitment to go to Montreal and stay there, hone their performances even harder, well, there's the reward. 5.2 up to 5.6. Oh, only 5.1. 1.59. The judges really not working together there. It's a big question of which 5 will be dropped. That's good. 4th place for these two. 4th place for ZAGORSKA and SIUDEK. So they split the Chinese. Dan and Zhang Hao go down to 5th. Shen and Zhao still in 3rd. Pang and Tong 2nd. Petrova, Tikhonov lead. But for how much longer?
Totmianina and Maxim Marinin.
Here then, Tatiana, Totmianina and Maxim Marinin, who after the mistake from Shen and Zhao emerged as the favourites for gold. Will they still be in 3 minutes' time? Their music, variations on a theme of Paganini. Cracking stuff.
Well, this is beautiful. Side by side, triple toes, no hesitation.
Super ending to a wonderful night. And is it going to be enough to put them right at the top of the pile? It may well be. It could be Russia 1 and 2. Can't believe they're going to be lower than second with that performance. And it may well be that Tatiana Totmianina and Maxim Marinin have done enough to go into Wednesday night in the lead.
Yes, I think they have. And if that is the case, it's a big skate there, because that pushes the favourites, the defending champions, down into 4th place, and they really have got an uphill battle now. Well, they couldn't have skated the programme much better. I just thought the side-by-side spins were a little off sync, but you had to dig deep, didn't you, to find holes in that programme. Split double twist, obviously not as big as the Chinese pairs, but the throw, the side-by-side triples, the presentation of the program, the finesse was just wonderful.
Oleg Vasiliev was talking them up in the interview that he did earlier on with Petra Bindel, and he was absolutely right. There was not a semblance of doubt from the moment they took to the ice to the moment they left it.
I think there's only 2 couples that have given you that sort of feeling. It's these 2 and Zhang and Zhang. The third of the Chinese couples. Supremely confident. Here's the triple toes. No hesitation. They have a different timing going in, but spot on the way out.
Great close-up.
He expects no less. Just love the lines. Beautiful concept, starting the program with the serpentine step sequence. The lift, very good indeed. Moving to one hand. No loss of speed through that. Beautiful dismount. Yeah, for me, there's no doubt that would be at the top of the pile.
I can't find a deduction.
No, there's no deductions.
And the presentation just glorious.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mark, please, for
They look confident. I was going to say it might be agony these moments. I don't think so. I think they are so assured they expect great marks.
Well, it's got your shirt on, Simon, so the judges should go with that. Look at it. Great marks.
5-7 up to 5-9. And to be honest, whichever 5 they deduct, it doesn't really matter.
And a 6.
And a 6. Wow. Can't tell you who gave them that mark because it is anonymous. 7 out of 9 have them in first place, and rightly so. What a night this has been for Russia, first and second. And most importantly, it means that Totmianina and Marinin now really are in pole position, and they can be first or second as far as Shen and Zhao are concerned, and still win gold. If Jian and Zhao win and Totmianina and Marinin are only second to them, they still win the gold.
Well, you wouldn't have written that story a couple of days ago, or even a couple of hours ago, would you?
Certainly not. So it's Russia first, second, and seventh. China third, fourth, and sixth. And well done to ZAGORSKA and SIUDEK for getting in amongst them. They're the only couple in fifth place. And then lower down of the 19 couples we've had. And thanks to all of them. In their own ways, they've given us a night to remember. And certainly some pretty big surprises.